Welcome back. We're still looking at the Punch. Yes, who else has a story here?
So I do. National Assembly passes student loan bill, proposes jail for defaulters. The National Assembly on Wednesday passed the Student Loans Access to Higher Education Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2024. This comes after separate considerations by both the Senate and the House of Representatives of the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TET Fund. President Bola Tinubu, in a letter written to the Senate last Thursday, sought the repeal of the existing law and submitted a fresh bill to be passed into law. This request came a day after the announcement of a temporary suspension. We know we heard, and people were sad about that. Temporary suspension of the commencement of the student loan scheme, which would allow students of tertiary institutions access interest-free loans to complete their studies. But Tinubu had, in June 2023, signed the student loan bill, but then they needed to make some adjustments in the bill. And then they further said that for you to be able to initiate loan recovery efforts towards the student's loan, when you take a loan, for the government to initiate the repayment, it has to be 2 years after your national service, and then if you've been employed in any capacity whatsoever. And then in case of defaulters or fraudulent people, you're trying to access the loan, you'll be in default, and you'll be guilty of a felony and liable to imprisonment for 3 years, but in a provision whereby the person dies, or natural cause, or act of God, then they can forgive the loan. So it doesn't pass to the families or anything. I think
we like the new adjustments that was made to the loan. Okay, you have a story in the Punch?
So the Lagos zone of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, blamed the escalation of the fire on, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday?
Yes.
Idumota. Said they blamed it on lack of water. They said when they got there, they had about 10 trucks, and they had to refill like 3-4 times. They had to keep going to refill. In the end, they got 30,000 liters of water from Julius Berger. That there was no water source in the area for them to refill their trucks. So they are imploring the traders to get a borehole or a fire hydrant.
To help themselves.
Yeah, and also to insure their goods. It says because of the kind of combustible goods that they had was what another reason the fire escalated. They had lighters and all those combustible material. That's why the fire escalated. But that they were still able to bring it down. So the government has to do what do you call it?
Water services?
No. When you want to check the buildings, that the buildings are still for them to use as
continue.
If they can continue their markets there,
And then
that's a painful one. That's a lot of money being.
I'm so sorry for those traders.
Yes,
I'm really sorry. He said that they also no. Margaret, I just said it was the poor housekeeping.
the integrity of the building.
The integrity of the building. She. So, said poor housekeeping led to the fire outbreak. So.
Okay, so the Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational Associated Institutions have said that the meeting they had on Wednesday with the federal government ended in a deadlock. You know, they had given, that SANU and NASU had given a 7-day warning strike on Monday to demand their 4-month salaries from 2021 that was withheld when they embarked on that prolonged strike. And they said they had started paying ASUU, but had abandoned SANU and NASU. And so the National President JAC of SANU, NASU, Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim, said the unions met with the 2 ministers of education, the permanent secretary, and other directors, but the meeting did not achieve any cogent outcome. And he said the nationwide strike by the unions would therefore, continue. He said when they met, they had, mentioned their complaints to them, and the government kept promising that it's going to receive attention, but they had determined in their mind that if they don't receive alerts of their salaries, they will continue the warning strike. However, this is just a warning strike, which will be ending on Sunday. But if nothing is done by Sunday, then they will decide on how to, go ahead with their actions. Let's move on now to the Daily Sun. Major headline: Reps jack up CGN, other judicial officers' salaries. Only federal courts affected. Igbo leaders to hold retreat on region's future. Reps extend 2023 supplementary budget implementation by 3 months. Soldiers killing. Ijaw youth set up investigation fact-finding team. Senate meets service chiefs who will find succor for families of victims. Oborevori. Shaibu. Court refuses to stop Edo Governor Assembly, others from impeachment process. Catholic Bishop begs Tinubu to release Kanu, says Southeast losing billions of naira to sit at home. Abducted school children soon will return home, Kaduna Governor reassures. National Assembly passes student loan bill, Minister meets ASUU and NASU, NAT leaders over strike. Drama as NLC pickets Labour Party Secretariat, insists on Abure's sack, party threatens legal action. Tinubu government has passed Rubicon, says Shetima. What stories do we have in the Sun?
So, barely 2 weeks after 287 school children were abducted by terrorists in Chikun local government area, the state governor, Ubasani, has reassured the affected parents that children will soon return home safely. So, it made it sound like he categorically said that. But, as I read the report, he said that by the grace of God, our children will return home safely. Said the president and security personnel, they're working hard to make sure that they're returned home safely. So I just for me, I feel that especially in situations like this, we need to be careful with the words that we use. Because he is confident in all the work that the security personnel are putting in, the attitude of the president and all that they have said concerning bringing those kids back. But it's still, until they are brought back. So I just feel that when it comes to issues like that, we should be careful with the words either we say or, newspapers print. But he said this when he had a meeting with stakeholders, traditional rulers, and then the chairman of the 7 local government areas that were attacked. These local government areas include Kajuru, Benengwari, Kachia, Kagarko, Gabi, Chukun, and Giwa. So he's saying that a lot of progress is being made, and that very soon, hopefully, by God's grace, these children will be returned. And then he also charged traditional rulers, in the community, when you see any strange movement or anything, please do not hesitate to report these things. Yes.
Yeah, so I have the major headline. The House of Representatives yesterday passed the bill for upward review of salaries, allowances, and fringe benefits for judicial office holders across the country through third reading. Now, they said the bill seeks to amend certain political, public, and judicial office holders' salaries and allowances, and the different acts that was mentioned here. The bill is expected to be transmitted to the president for assent. The bill, when signed into law by President Bola Tinubu, is to take effect from 1st of January 2024, so they will backdate it. Now, I just want to mention a few. It's just more about the data of how much the judiciary will be getting. So the proposed legislation prescribes a total of 5.3 million monthly earning, comprising of 1.1 million basic salary and allowances for the Chief Justice of Nigeria, that's the CGN. The allowances annually are personal assistance, which is about 3.3 million, hardship, 6.7 million, entertainment, 6 million, utilities, 4 million, outfit, 3.3 million, journal subscription, 2 million, medical, 5.3 million, long service allowance, 1.3 million, restricted or forced lifestyle, I don't know what that means, 6.7 million, and legal researchers, 9-point-something million. So there's a lot here. There's one also that caught my attention. It said the CGN also gets 53 million motor vehicle loan, The loan, which is optional, expected to be repaid before the expiration of his tenure. And that's how they do it in most of these organizations. Now, there's also a leave allowance of $6.7 million per annum, ESTA code of $2,000 per night during foreign trips, and a whole lot. I think people should just go there and read up. I'm happy that there's a salary review for them. They are doing quite a lot, and they need to look the part. They are our law enforcement, rule of law enforcement. Exactly. So this is a good one.
While they're at it, they should do the doctors as well, I think.
I think they want to,
Doctors,
doctors, nurses, yes. I think they just need to give these people a sense of we are working.
I think are the most important.
All of them.
They're all important.
Yeah, all important.
Nurses are important.
Let's all pray for good health.
Yeah, true. Any other stories in the sun?
Igbo leaders to hold retreat on region's future. Security, economy, regional development, top agenda. Yes, so eminent Igbo sons and daughters would converge at Enugu on Wednesday next week. That's your birthday. A retreat to chat for the southeast region. So at least when they are praying for the Igbo people, now they are praying for you, an Igbo girl. Governors of the southeast states, National Assembly members, captains of industry, and the Igbo intelligentsia are slated to participate in the voyage of self-rediscovery with the theme Akobije. Many other dignitaries are being expected, including members of the Ohanese Presidential Advisory Council and the Association of Igbo Town Unions, led by Chief Emeka Diwe. Organizers of the event, the Ohanese Igbo worldwide, said the program had become imperative in view of the prevailing circumstances in Nigeria as they affect the Igbo culture, the Igbo people. President General of Ohanese Igbo, Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, has reiterated his resolve to lead Igbo people to a glorious and enviable pedestal where they can harness their natural endowments, yes, and creative potential. So that's a good one.
It's a good one. Why can't you have a story?
I will try to take it very quickly. The prelate of the Catholic Church, Lucius Uweju Ugoji, has appealed to, I hope I pronounce it well,
Good.
has appealed to the president to please grant the leader of the Biafra, Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, a civil pardon. He was at the ordination of the Catholic clerics, where they were anyway, at this ordination where he was begging that to prevent the sit at home, that the East is losing a lot of money, from that region is losing a lot of money from this sit at home, this continuous sit at home, and he believes that if they release Nnamdi Kanu, give him a civil pardon, that
will be resolved. Yeah. So the last paper for today, Nigerian Tribune. Let's just take a story we haven't taken. Importers of dairy products can now access Forex. This is by the CBN. Miriam, you have that story?
Yes, I do. And it's saying that the CBN has lifted Forex restrictions on the importation of milk and dairy products in the country in a move aimed at price cut. The CBN directive to banks means that importers can now access foreign exchange at official Nigerian autonomous foreign exchange markets for transactions related to milk and dairy products. They said the far-reaching implications for the dairy industry would lead to that it will include increased competition, improved availability of dairy products, and enhanced market access. As we remember, 43 items have now been, restrictions have been lifted off, and so, milk and dairy products are now one of the things that importers can get.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we move on to our sponsored segments. Stay with us.